Good evening, everybody, and welcome to my Tuesday night live in my Facebook group. And welcome if you're watching this on YouTube or as my podcast. So tonight I'm recording this at the start of May 23, and the first week of May is National Sun Awareness Week. And whilst this is an awareness campaign brought by the Dermatologists Association in the UK, it's just as equally important to focus on our eye health. And as someone who has a number of eye concerns and problems in recent years, ever since turning 50, I hasten to add, then I wanted to give particular attention to thinking about taking good care of our eyes. So why do we need to think about our eyes when we think about the sun? Well, the UV rays, as well as damaging the skin and all the problems associated with that, can also affect the retina of the eyes. In particular, it's the macular area, which is in the central part of the retina, which is the main key part for our vision. And therefore, if that gets damaged, it starts to affect our vision. So we really need to think about protecting our eyes against UV radiation, UV damage. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking at something that's just popped up. Okay, I'm just going to ignore that. Right, sorry. Oh gosh, I don't know if this is recording or not. Okay. Anyway, I shall continue because this is going to go on my YouTube channel if it's live. I can't tell if it's live or not as I do this over Zoom. So let me carry on. So UV radiation is particularly strong through our summer months. And even on a cloudy day, we need to be particularly mindful of UV rays and our eyes. So first of all, of course, thinking about wearing good quality sunglasses that are going to protect against UV rays, and even thinking about wearing sunglasses on a cloudy day. And I know myself, when I'm driving or even walking around in summer, I would want to put on sunglasses because I do actually find it quite bright, even if it tends to be a little bit cloudy. So invest in good quality sunglasses. Make sure, even if they're cheaper ones, they do say they protect against all types of UV light and UV radiation. The next thing is to think about staying well hydrated. Just like our body, the eyes need to be well hydrated. It's really important to keep up the moisture level and help to protect against dry eyes. And we should all know by now that it's important to be consuming 1.5 to 2 litres of hydrating fluids, whether it's cordials, water, fruit, herbal teas. You can have a little bit in tea and coffee, but the bulk of our fluids need to come from these hydrating sources. So really make sure you're keeping your hydration levels up, particularly on the hot days. And if it is really hot and you're outside a lot and you're exercising more, you'll need more than 2 litres. You might need 2.5 litres because you're going to be sweating more. So keep up the hydration, carry a bottle of water with you wherever you're going, keep sipping it throughout the day. Don't just focus on it at one point of time in the daytime. Now we need to come to our nutrition, and there's several aspects we need to think about here to think about our eye health. There's lots of really important nutrients that we need to be mindful of, and the sources that we can get these nutrients from. So first of all, think about our essential fatty acids, EPA and DHA. A lack of these fats that come from omega-3 sources have been associated with a higher risk of developing AMD, age-related macular degeneration. And age-related macular degeneration comes about part and parcel because of this high risk of UV radiation and damage to the cells. So where do we get these EPA, DHA fats from? Well, it's predominantly our oily fish, salmon, mackerel and sardines, 2 to 3 portions every single week. Or think about a supplement. If you don't like oily fish, then you can get good quality EPA, DHA supplements, fish oil supplements. Don't just look at the omega-3. If you're vegan or vegetarian, you need to be looking at algae-based sources to get these fish, these essential fats from. You get a tiny bit from walnuts, you get a tiny bit from dark green leafy vegetables, but not nearly enough to make up for what you need. Your body can't make them, you must get them in your diet. Then we need to think about zinc, and zinc is really important for the visual pigments in the retina, and many people are deficient in zinc. The richest sources of zinc are found in shellfish, predominantly oysters, and we don't eat oysters, but are you eating lobster and crab, for example? Prawns will provide some. The other sources of zinc will be red meat, chicken thighs, that's really rich. The darker meats are much higher in zinc. Pumpkin seeds, pulses, eggs, and in dairy, although you probably know I'm not a big fan of a high dairy diet, so think about those other sources for your zinc. Then we need to come to this very, very important area, which is to do with our antioxidant status. So UV damage is caused by the production of free radicals. So UV radiation creates free radicals that damage our cells. And the reason why antioxidants are so important is because they neutralize, or some people use the words quench, free radicals. They protect the body from the free radicals damaging our cells. And there are a number of different antioxidants, and it's not about just having one, because antioxidants work in different areas, in different circumstances, they have different roles, they're all equally important. So we need to be keeping up our levels of antioxidants to protect against UV radiation, free radical damage, also known as oxidative stress. So antioxidants protect against the oxidative stress. First of all, we've got water-soluble antioxidants like vitamin C, and we have fat-soluble antioxidants like vitamin E. The best sources for vitamin C come from kiwi fruit, from red pepper, from dark green leafy vegetables. Yes, there is some in oranges, but not as much as the other sources. Parsley is a really good source, even peas is a good source. Those dark green cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage, even cauliflower, even though it's not green, falls into that category. And then vitamin E is going to come from things like salmon, trout, sunflower seeds, pine nuts, Brazil nuts, avocado, almonds, and spinach. They're really good sources. And then we come on to these other compounds that have complicated names. And what they are is they're known from this group of things called phytonutrients. Phyto means plant, nutrients that are found in plants. So they're not known as vitamins, they're not known as minerals. Lots of different names. We've got a big group of these that are known as carotenoids. And these get broken down in subtypes. The two subtypes that have been very well researched and studied for eye health are lutein and zeaxanthin. These are very well studied for helping to protect the eyes against age-related macular degeneration, light-induced free radical damage, as we've just talked about. And where you get these from, good sources are egg yolks. These are sort of, these are the yellow orange types generally. So egg yolks, orange pepper, squash, but we've also got kiwi fruit and those dark green cruciferous vegetables again, and courgettes. And another carotenoid that's also important is lycopene. It has been found to protect the eyes again. And thinking a little bit more about the red colours here, so tomatoes is known to be particularly rich in lycopene, and particularly when it is cooked. Cooked tomatoes are going to have a much richer source of activating this lycopene content in the tomatoes. Also red carrots and watermelon. And then we've got things like asparagus and parsley. And a little bit like curcumin, and how we absorb it from the gut into the bloodstream. How do we best absorb lycopene from the gut into the bloodstream? And it's alongside fats. Now, I know you won't necessarily have fats alongside your watermelon, but if you're having tomatoes like the cooked ones, if you're having red carrots, then think about using some extra virgin olive oil. So you could be roasting tomatoes and roasting carrots. That's really going to be helpful to really help absorb the lycopene from the gut into the bloodstream. And the only final thing to say here is, you know, if you are concerned about your eyes, if you're getting older, concerned about the risk of age-related macular degeneration, we're living longer. So, you know, the likelihood is we're going to be more exposed to sun-induced, light-induced damage to our eyes if we're getting much older. And if you're like me, where you've been more prone to eye conditions, you know, for me, it's a retinal tear, it's glaucoma, I've had cataract surgery. I am supplementing, and I will continue to supplement. It's really important to me. So something that I take that contains all of the nutrients I've mentioned above, bar one, but all of these antioxidant type nutrients is a supplement from a company called Dr. Vegan, and it's called Screen Eyes. If you're like me, spending a lot of time in front of the computer, you actually get radiation damage from the computer, which is probably why it's called Screen Eyes, but UV light as well, just as important from the sun rays. So I use that product called Screen Eyes from a company called Dr. Vegan. And then we need to think about making sure we get those fish oils, like I said, the EPA, DHA essential fats, and thinking about supplementing good quality fish oils. Are like a company called Wiley's. They have a product called Peak EPA, very good quality fish oil that's screened for heavy metals, and also BioCare Mega EPA or Mega EPA Forte if you don't really eat any fish. Helps to really top up the amount of these essential fats. They're just a couple, they're not the only sources, but they are good quality supplements you can think about supplementing. So I hope you found that really useful tonight. Go away and have a think about that. Don't forget your sunglasses, stay hydrated. You need a very broad-based diet. Some of this was plant-based and some of it was protein-based, what I've been talking about tonight, and fats as well. We're covering the whole spectrum of nutrients tonight. So listen to this again. You can replay it through my Facebook Live, or it'll be on my YouTube channel by the end of the week, Peyton Principles Natural Health. Please subscribe to it. I'm trying to build my followers there, and then you'll be notified of my new releases each week. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you in 2 weeks' time. If you're watching it on Facebook, I'm away on holiday next week in the sun. I'll have my sunglasses on all the time. I'll catch up with you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. Bye.